Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Tired, these nerves on fire, and still not done. These goals are moving, 'cause they are not defined. And all of them fade, and all of them fade, through cables and pain, through cables and pain. Sleepwalking Sleepwalking every day, through cables and pain, through cables and pain, through cables and pain. And
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirted historian. And welcome to another edition of the Week in Geek. Yeah, we got some special guests today. We have Abomination AJ, and we got Left Eye Ego. I'm really glad that they're with us today. I've been hoping that they would come on for a while now. I met Left Eye first over on a different channel. Actually, it wasn't me. It was Lord Baphomet who met him, and he nearly spat his wine out. but it was cool. That was a cool dude, and I'm like, man, we got to get this guy on the show sometime. But back then, I know he was pretty busy, so I feel really lucky that I managed to get him and AJ on today. And you know, these guys have an open chair on my show anytime they want to, because they are some cool cats, and I love them. I'm glad I've got them. And what else can I say? Real quick, just kind of got to do my little historian rant sort of thing here. So yeah, the stuff that's in the news these days right now is the Netflix Cleopatra stuff. Okay. Historically, there was a time when we actually did have some black pharaohs in Egypt. That was at a time when the Nubians, who were in the south, came up and conquered Egypt for a short while. So yes, there were a few Nubian pharaohs, but Cleopatra's line was not part of that. Her line is descended from Ptolemy of Greece, which was in Macedonia. So yeah, the actress that got to play her definitely, not the right skin tone. And I would get it if they were just trying to get away with, like, oh well, we're just putting this, actress in here because we think she fits the part. I mean, I've seen them do it, with Anne Boleyn and other people, and and it's whatever, man, that's fine. But the fact that they really want to step out and make a statement, a political statement with this, and try to hold it up as fact, this is the same kind of bullshit that they tried back when they did the was it the Woman King movie not too long ago, and tried to uphold the that as historical fact, and then they kind of backpedaled and said, "Oh, yeah, it's kind of a reimagining of the truth," and yeah. So I don't know what they were thinking on this one. This is just kind of one of those cases where I wish that social media didn't have such a strong presence, because the more that actors and directors open their mouths and reveal what complete and absolute idiots they are, the more I really wish, we were back to newsprint and spoken word and phone calls, because the fact that we live in the information age and this kind of crap can spread so fast. I liked it better when actors and actresses were more mysterious, and directors were more mysterious, and we didn't really know what was on their minds. Because now that we know that what's on their minds, it's kind of like, you're dumber than a box of hammers, aren't you? But anyway, can I say, I don't know who's going to be watching this show anyway. I'm sure somebody will, but I won't be one of them. Not because I'm boycotting Netflix or anything stupid. It's just like I have only so much time in my day, and I really don't want to watch this. I know the story of Cleopatra. I've read the story of Cleopatra many times. I've watched the old Elizabeth Taylor movie. I've seen Rome, all that stuff. It's like, I know how this story goes. I know how it ends. There's nothing they're going to be able to do in this Netflix series that is going to be a new and original take on the historical fiction genre that is going to, make my little historian chubby stand up and want to see this. So why bother? Spend your time on it if you wish. Anyway, we got a show to do. So let's bring in our guests and our panelists. Start off with Mr. Victor.
Hoi iedereen, behalve Just Passerby, want hij komt uit het noorden en die moet ik niet hebben.
And he's speaking that funky foreign Dutch shit. So we have to hold it together with our favorite redneck dying breed.
Howdy.
Mr. Grimm, give us a little class of veneer.
Hip hip tally ho. What?
Yes. And our what is the proper term these days? We call it Amerindian representation. Yes, we have Ironcaster. How was the teepee last night? Was it cold?
Oh, you betcha. I had to put a toque on,
And here's our guest, the awesome Left Eye Ego.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, and Abomination AJ.
What up, people?
Hey, you not gonna camera with us today, AJ?
You said Cam?
Yeah.
You want me to throw the camera on, man?
Why not?
Because I'm in my garage and this goddamn light beaming on me is hot as shit in here.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
All right. The host requested.
I was gonna say, I AJ, if you don't put the camera on, I don't think they'll really believe that you're black. I've told them about your Kool-Aid.
Somebody accused me of using blackface with my little werewolf character, and I was like, wow, okay. That's
I
a possibility.
What?
I accused Fat Steven of that earlier today. I was watching him stream Dead Island 2, and he's playing the black character. I was like, Steven, could you not have picked somebody who is Canadian? You're doing digital blackface, sir.
Yep. I was doing digital blackface. I said, "What? That's practically me." You're trying to shame me for being me, and you some fucking I don't know. Y'all know some fairy dust on a tiger with wings and shit in the profile picture.
I'm just glad not to be the only black guy for a change anymore. So.
Oh, bro, y'all need to get some better blacks if that's all you have.
We have Animane, but he doesn't come on very often. So
Man, he ignores me sometimes too, and I just say, well, you know what? This man got a goddamn comic book out, so he's working. I can't demand his time.
Right.
Yeah, well, he does videos and stuff for me too. So I at least I know I got his ear, part of the day.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, he does video work on the side, so I keep him a little busy.
We're not your only black friends.
No, not at all. Not at all. Man, hey, we are a truly diverse show. Okay, I myself am a Latino. Of course, we have Ironcaster, who is Indian, and
I got my race card and everything. I get the newspaper.
He does. We have Esh Singh, who is also Indian, but he's like South West Asian Indian.
Culture.
Yes,
United Nations in here, man.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
we got everybody.
European representation.
Yeah, a little bit of Europeans. Yeah, we got Grim, we got Victor, and then we have Dying Breed.
Yeah, the token white trash.
The token white trash guy. when Guard Bro's not around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm the white trash. Guard Bro's the hillbilly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and when Ryan is on, we have our Jewish representation. So
Yeah.
Breaking down in subclasses.
we all good. Well, hey, I'm 1% Northern African myself, so but I doubt anybody going to give me a pass. So
This is all I can do, bro.
Yeah, I have no statistics, so
Still a sausage fest, though.
yes,
oh.
but I get girls on when I can, but they don't stay. Squeaka comes on when she can. Arwen hasn't been on in a while.
She's busy with her own stuff.
Yeah,
I've never seen Arwen on. I've seen Squeaka on once since I've been coming on, and I've been coming on for 3 months now, something like that.
I've been coming on for like a year and I haven't seen Arwen yet, so yeah.
I keep trying, guys. I keep trying, but she keeps getting busy or whatever. Okay, well,
Plate.
what's that?
You just got to roll out the sausage plate for Arwen.
Yeah, the sausage plate. Well, I don't have a sausage, but I do have something I think we can all talk about here for a second.
We've got a sausage party.
You should have a sausage.
It's all in the name of female representation.
So I think Grim Grim will call this like the most American thing ever.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the most American thing ever. It's not armed.
That's fair.
Is it being held?
That's fair.
I don't know how that's being held.
That
I
thing
was gonna
really
say
good.
true.
I mean, it's like if you took the buns off, I could probably eat it because then it's keto.
That's what she said.
Good call.
So what do we think about this Abomination thing?
I think that's load-bearing mac and cheese. And
Yeah, that's too much goddamn cheese. That shit look like liquid gold.
I'd give it a nibble.
Together. There's no way you're holding that burger with one hand. No, the cheese is like fuse those patties together.
I think so.
Collapse.
Where is the hand though? Still, where
I
are
don't
the
know what a hand
fingers?
is either. I was gonna look fat too. Yeah.
Like, I don't
Oh,
see
no.
a thumb working.
It doesn't even look good though. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have sesame seeds on it, man.
oh, John A. Douglas wins. Normal
Yeah.
meal for movie Bob.
That's a small meal.
No, it doesn't have enough genocide and stuff for him.
Oh,
You have to carry
think
this
it's-
around in your body.
I think it's being held by Wolverine on one claw.
Yeah.
I
Off
was
screen.
looking for a huge toothpick through the middle, but
Still,
no.
That's
I
a
don't see it.
skewer. It's got to have a
Oh.
skewer through it or something.
I said a huge toothpick. Yeah.
I'll be honest. If I had Wolverine's healing factor, I would eat like that. Like get fat or anything, you're just always fit. Yeah, I would eat like a pig.
True.
Oh, hell,
Are
I do
you
look
always
like that.
fit though?
I
I'm the
mean,
best at what I do, and what
He
I
does-
do is
he- I'm pretty sure he metabolizes stuff pretty quickly. Plus, he's carrying like what 300 pounds of adamantium on his bones. Like he's always
That's
weightlifting. So
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah,
Literally.
all
You're
right. Interesting.
I don't know, man. I just don't even know. Hey,
Ooh.
Pops is on.
Hey,
What up, Pops?
hey.
So what if Parrot said you're supposed to unhinge your jaw like a thought? What if that's like what if that's an advancement in human evolution that Americans started where we create foods that's like this big and unhealthy and we have to unhinge our jaws to eat it because that's how animals adapt.
Well,
That'd
you
be a
know,
cool little power, little enhancement. I'm just saying.
well, a little
adaptation.
bit of anthropology for you here. Actually, the human face has actually changed over the centuries because our face has become a little bit shorter and smaller because we don't need as many teeth and as big of a jaw in order to eat our food because our food has become softer and stuff. Which is one of the reasons why we have problems with our wisdom teeth impacting because crowding out our faces.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. People
Go see my
do
dentist
evolve.
now. Okay.
Yep.
We've evolved to be trash.
I think
Or eat
Good
trash.
if,
Aaron,
if
Castor, what do you get?
you'll humor me for a minute, I think I found out how to eat this burger.
I'm not going to get copyright claimed on this one, am I?
I think you should be fine.
oh yeah,
Okay.
this one.
Yes, you gotta sneak up on the burger. Just kind of
Oh shit,
Wow.
that's scary.
That's just.
That's the evolution right there. Right
There
there.
you go.
Do we know any chicks who can do this?
I'd be afraid if she did.
Oh, I wouldn't. Find me that girl.
I said, do my snake, not the snake.
She just revealed she's a super villain to you.
There you go.
You just sneak up on the burger and just eat all in one bite.
Man, did you just find this out of nowhere?
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Wow.
Did you guys ever watch that South Park episode where they find out it's actually healthier to eat your food through your ass? That one is hilarious.
No.
Yeah, like it's just like them like slowly like lowering themselves onto like a turkey, like oh, like it's pretty funny.
Damn.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna eat the conventional way. I don't want to have a clister in order to eat my food.
Oh,
What were you saying about how we've evolved as a species?
Oh, well, yeah, that our faces have become more shortened.
No, I'm just saying you were saying that, and then Victor has
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just slowly turning into pugs.
Oh, kinda. I don't know if we suddenly start to grow teeth in our ass, then maybe South Park is right.
No, that's not pug.
Yeah, it's true. I own a pug.
And
Does it
I
have
don't
teeth in
remember.
its ass?
Yeah, I don't remember
No.
teeth being in the tag. All right, we ain't evolving that. If we are, we got to figure out how to course correct.
All right. So okay. Yeah. Mandalorian finished up this week. I did not watch it. I have not watched season 3 at all whatsoever. Because I did not want to pay Disney Plus. Has anybody else seen it?
Just me, I guess.
Just you?
Yeah, I guess
have
nobody
not.
else said anything.
Okay. Good.
I haven't watched any of season 3 yet.
I was smart enough
I
to
have it.
avoid it.
Okay.
I saw one episode. That was it, man. I didn't get it. That was
Okay.
it for me.
Okay, good. So we're all kind of coming at this on an equal footing, which is good because that's kind of what I had in mind today. Because our dear friend, the Echo Chamberlain, did watch the first episode and loaded up a commentary about it, and it was so hilarious. I said, you know what? Rather than chop this thing up and discuss it when nobody on this panel has probably watched this thing, why don't we just let him break it down for us, and then we'll just comment on the video because he's hilarious. If you guys haven't ever seen the Echo Chamberlain, you guys are in for a real treat. So let's see. This is not a really long video, but knowing us, it'll take us most of the show to get through it because that's who we are.
Mandalorian Season 3 is uninspired garbage. It sucks balls so hard, the scrotum gets tangled around the tonsils, and it is designed to be consumed by people with the attention span of a goldfish with Alzheimer's.
Right off the bat.
Oh man! Wow.
I'm still caught on the scrotum part.
Pardon?
I'm still caught up on the scrotum part.
Aren't you always, young man?
He doesn't mince words, does he?
Wow.
Well, I mean, last week he was talking about how the what was it? Was it Book of Boba Fett sucks vinegary balls?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
There was a whole spiel about balls, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he was pretty ball obsessed. Left Eye had to turn his camera off. He's probably dying up.
I try to spit on my Coke, man. Damn.
It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse, guys. Okay.
It's never easy, but there comes a time when figures you esteemed for much of your life drift so far from their early appeal that they forfeit whatever they initially had, or just come across as a pussy one too many times. So it is with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
I have to give him credit for holding back on how many photos of Kevin Smith there are crying.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Very true. Very true.
I mean, I did watch the very first episode of Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe and said, "That's enough, thanks.
Yeah,
I'm good." And I've been told, but it was a really good series. You needed to watch the whole thing all the way through. It's total bait and switch and all. And I'm like, nah.
How did y'all feel about the Thundercats reboot?
Oh.
Which one? The really kiddie cartoony one, or the one that they did before that was like more serious?
Before that, the serious one, not the
serious one was cool, but the kiddie one was shit.
The 2011 one.
Yeah.
I maintain that there is no Thundercats. Thundercats came out in 1985, and it ended, and that's it. And there is no more Thundercats.
Okay, I'm gonna watch the original and compare. Because I've been loving this.
You like the 2011 one?
I loved it the first one, and I'm enjoying it this time.
Okay. I want to hear what you have to say on it. Kind of on a side note, I am painting the Thundercats figures for Zombicide, so that's kind of cool.
I used to have all the toys when I was a kid. I was a big fan.
Yeah, I did too. I think I was only missing a couple. I didn't have a Chitara.
If you like the 2011 Thundercats, you should go back and check out the 2002 2003 Masters of the Universe. That was a really good edit.
That was good. I used to catch that every once in a while in the mornings when I was working.
Was that a Cartoon Network one?
Yep. Yeah, that was when, like my brother and I were watching. He got all the figures, so it was like kind of like a chance to get into Masters of the Universe. And when I in about 20 years ago now.
You remember when Cartoon Network was good?
I remember.
Yeah. Before the noodle arms.
Let's
and
continue.
The puffy faces.
Oh.
Even the first season of the show has lost much of its allure in retrospect and can be seen for what it really was. Fans clutching on to anything that seemed halfway decent after the ludicrous spectacle of a returning Palpatine and horses galloping over the hull of a Star Destroyer in The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh.
That was awful.
That was
awful.
yeah.
That was very awful. It was terrible.
I saw it in the movie theater. And
I did too,
God.
unfortunately.
Oh,
Which one was that?
Rise of
Rise of
Skywalker.
Skywalker. Yeah.
That's the third one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Palpatine has returned.
Somehow Palpatine has returned. Star Wars is dead, kids.
Yeah.
As if the fan base were like a 14-year-old boy whose parents have confiscated his phone and denied him internet access, and access to Pornhub in particular, who then furtively searches around, finds a lingerie catalog, and achieves a semblance of gratification.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's. I have to admit, okay, I really did love the first season of Mandalorian, but yeah, now that I go back and think about it, I'm kind of like, yeah, it was kind of stupid, but you know, it was just so much better than those 3 films.
I still like it. The first season, it definitely had the spirit of Star Wars to it, which the later stuff increasingly hasn't. I think he might be being a bit unfair blaming Favreau and Filoni.
I've said this before. Star Wars works best, or at least like all the side media that they did, like The Mandalorian and like all that stuff, when they focus on a specific like genre. So The Mandalorian was basically space western. So like when they keep it small scale like that, and it's like, yeah, it's the man with no name, but he's got a helmet and a laser gun. Yeah, that shit's cool. And then they try to like run with it, and it just got worse and worse. But yeah,
I always likened the first season of The Mandalorian to like the old Kung Fu TV series.
Yeah,
with Carradine.
Yeah.
It really kind of had that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there's a time and a place for doing stories like this, for doing sort of the big epic skills stuff that they want to do, which I have no problem with. The problem is, for kind of what we were sold from the beginning, and this is like, this really should just be a space western, and this is not. This is basically let's make another big Star Wars movie. Like, no, come on, guys, let's go and tell little stories. We need to stick to one simple idea here.
So I will say, keep saying that this scene from The Mandalorian from the first season, where those 2 troopers were shooting that can. And they were so self-aware. Then I was like, it took me out of the show for a moment. And I was like, okay, this is how these people making it really feel about this. They don't respect it. And this is why you have the poor content. So that shit was just like that was funny. It was hilarious. And they're like hitting the bag with the baby in it. So I'm like, damn, they don't give a fuck about this. But they intentionally put that out there because they know normies are gonna eat that shit up. Like, you got people with the fucking doll in their reaction channels and just loving like Grogu. And I'm just like, okay, why do you love this character so much? Because he's going to grow into that old ass little short man Yoda that you never gave a fuck about in Star Wars. But you have this doll of this thing, which I figured, man, if they would have aged him up, it would have been like the what's his name, Kanan and Ezra, like them from Rebels. You could have kind of did that with the aged up Yoda, and then we could have seen a Yoda in his prime as opposed to old Yoda or baby Grogu. We could have seen a green consular out there using the powers levels to where the prequels were had Yoda. Y'all get what I'm talking about? The 3D Yoda, and he's flipping around and jumping and using the powers and shit.
Yeah.
We could have seen that, and it could have made sense as opposed to a baby that just like and then saving the day.
Yes. I'm asking outside in. Like, I was trying to figure out. I know that Yoda was going to do what Yoda did, but why are they saying Grogu is that special? Are you saying the species, that kind of species, is special in general, that they're force sensitive, it can be very powerful, or just because it's the last of the Yoda kind? I'm confused because I didn't get that either.
Yeah, they really kept that kind of nebulous.
Why they wanted to capture him, you mean? Yeah,
well, no, I mean, just like why he was so important. Like, I know Yoda's powerful when he was a Jedi, but it's like, I guess the Grogu's force sensitive. I get it, but it's like, does that mean that at that rate he's going to be super duper powerful, or just like we should cultivate it so he can become either a Jedi or a Sith? Yeah,
I guess that race just has like what's that stupid thing called, the midichlorians? Midichlorians. I guess that race just naturally has those. And they wanted those so they could make all the force-sensitive clones, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah. You remember when George Lucas made midichlorians, or made the Force an STD?
Yeah, that was
I
terrible.
absolutely hated that.
That was
I absolutely
terrible.
hated that.
Yeah, this third season of The Mandalorian basically ends with like them setting up like, oh, this is how Snoke like came about. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, nothing's more scary than 64-year-old clones.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, okay. That's why I was confused because it's like, I mean, I get it. It's cute and cuddly and knows a little bit of the Force, but I mean, I didn't get why Grogu was so important.
It's not cuddly. You're not supposed to be cuddling on this little boy. You're not supposed to be holding him like they do.
Ain't Grogu like 30 years old though, even though technically he's a baby?
I mean,
He's like 50.
Yeah.
It's like
Gary
50,
It's like carrying around Gary Coleman in your backpack. Okay.
What you talking about, Willis?
Right. So I'm like, why are you
Right.
carrying this shit around, bro? Like
Right.
it is wild, but it works. And that's why Disney doesn't have to put in the work, because they're saying they will eat this shit up.
Well, you remember with the Marvel films, for example, they had Groot, and with each film that came along, they would change him a little bit, so that way that way Groot grows. So you're not going to get kind of bored of seeing little baby Groots. Like, we can only really get away with a little like tiny dancing twig for about a movie. We got to change this up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They needed to change something with Grogu, and they're just not.
Yeah.
I think they just stumbled onto something that worked and then rode it into the ground like a teenage boy discovering the clip for the first time.
Yes.
Fair.
Yeah. Or masturbation.
The character didn't really evolve over 3 seasons. Like, they always just kept him like a little like squeaky baby thing. And then Mando himself actually devolved over the 3rd season because they just gave him less and less to do, and they started focusing on Bo-Katan. So yeah, like, I don't know, that 3rd season is pretty lame.
Well, you know, I don't remember if it was the producer or whoever came out and said, "Oh yeah, the Mandalorian's not really Jin Djarin's story anymore. It's about all the Mandalorians and what it means to be a Mandalorian. So it's not just about him anymore." And I'm just kind of like, no.
Stop.
What?
Yeah, it took them until the last episode to really show him being badass. Like, the whole season is just like constantly getting into trouble and getting captured, and then Bo-Katan has to show up and like save him, and like, you know, she's like taking the lead and she's doing all the cool stuff while he's just like following him around. And then in the last episode, they like let him basically be John Wick, and he's like kicking ass. And it's like, come on, I wanted to see that throughout the whole season, not just the last episode.
Oh shit. All right. Well, I'm ready to try a little bit more.
Carry on.
All right. I knew it was going to be a while before we got through all this, so.
We pick up the tattered threads of the story with the armorer crafting a helmet using the ponderous methods of a 17th century ironmonger.
Yeah, I don't get that. They have all these advanced space furnaces and all this other crap, and yeah, she's literally pounding out this shit on a, you know, medieval type forge, and I'm just kind of like, that's not the most efficient way. I mean, it's like, you know, even later medieval smiths had access to crucibles and things and could pour steel. So,
well, they do show her like pouring it and stuff and like melting it down. So I guess, you know, it's just to show that they're very traditional.
I guess. I mean, but look at all the hammer marks on that thing. There's no hammer marks on the helmet.
Oh, you know, she's got like a little buffing thing. I don't know.
Oh.
Or apparently discreetly going behind a curtain where a 21st century 3D printer is, and emerging with this little helmet, then leading a procession out of a cave onto a beach, where a Mando clan are waiting for a ceremony to initiate a child into the way of the Order. Obviously, the showrunners scoured Hollywood to procure a child who could exude a rough-hewn, stoic presence that would convey an upbringing akin to the Spartan warriors of Greek lore. I'm just kidding. They booked Wesley Kimmel, nephew of late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel.
Wow.
Wow.
I was surprised too. But, you know, that's what happens when you're connected to Hollywood people. Hey, let's do a little star fucking.
I think his character's name is Nepotism.
Actually, yeah. The Neptolorian.
That's a good one.
This is the way.
This is the way.
It did, however, work with Wesley to project a hardened beyond his years, flat, even brash tone at his impending rite of passage. Again, I'm just kidding.
I swear on my name and the names of the ancestors.
As Southern Californian Mando Nippo Baby receives his helmet, which will be too small for him after a 6-month growth spurt, the armorer dips a shallow wooden bowl into the water as a further element of the rite. Why? Who knows? Anyway, just as the Kimmel DeLorean is finishing his oath, there is a sudden commotion. The benignly pussyish writers who assembled for a media featurette to write the script for the High Republic and sketched out their priorities and wish list on a whiteboard for our viewing displeasure will no doubt be happy or even slightly aggrieved that they've been beaten to the punch, having listed dinosaurs as an ideal component, because that's what we're getting in the first few minutes.
This is for real. They actually put out everything that they wanted in a Star Wars show on a whiteboard.
Oh,
like
there was another whiteboard, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And by the way, it's if I remember right, one of the things on there, it was like a list of like things Star Wars is not. Star Wars is not pro-war. It was like one of the things they're like, we need to make sure we instill this with the audience.
They sure keep showing wars for being not pro-war, goddamn. Like
Yeah.
Clone Wars, like all these wars. Every little Star Wars media, like even the stuff that's set like 10,000 years ago, it's all about wars. Like come on.
Fiction authentically lived in, so let's shoot everything on Mos Eisley or whatever. I mean, Tatooine is the only dirty planet in the entire galaxy.
All right, let's see.
Rival houses.
I'm a little. I got a question. The fiction and diversity part.
Yeah, it's on it twice too, right?
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
That's multiple times.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Relic hunters?
Well,
Representation / diversity under our Star Wars wishes.
So
the
with
first one,
rival,
it almost looks like it says university.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it does. Yeah. With rival houses, I'm thinking like they talking about this. I swear on the ancestors or whatever. I'm like, you motherfuckers watch Game of Thrones, and you just throwing that shit in here.
Yes. I honestly think you're right. In fact, I would guess that after House of the Dragon, everybody in the writers and all across Hollywood like, guys, this is the shit that we need right now. I want you to watch this show, and we need to take everything we can from this series because this is a hit.
So it would have to be from Game of Thrones because when they was having this whole conversation about dinosaurs and the High Republic, that was a while ago. That was before the House of the Dragon.
The dragon.
Mhm.
So this has been in the work, but I guess they're what is this? They're
Dream board, I
spinning
guess.
High Republic ideas or things that did not make it into the High Republic book series into this show.
I guess.
It's a fucking corporate meeting, is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's just another example of when a corporation takes over the creative aspects of a franchise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we can't trust to the artists because we can't bank on that. So we can go through, we can have our little roundtable meetings and do all our Zoom calls. Oh, and let's get a whiteboard and we'll hit all our high points, make our little bullet point spread, and we can, create this formula that's guaranteed success. That's what they think.
Well, it's gotten to the point where they
Hold
kind of
on.
realize their mistake and they're like mining the extended universe, but they're still doing it badly.
Yes.
No, they're not. They're not
Yes,
going to realize. They're not going to realize their mistake because there's always a disconnect between the ground level and the high corporate because communication doesn't flow that way.
I'm just
Does
raising
that make sense?
my hand here because
the
it says
people at the
like,
bottom.
oh my bad, man.
The people at the bottom are scared to tell the people at top what's really going on, and the people at top live in this ivory tower and they have this particular view of things. Okay, the numbers come in. Well, it didn't do as well as we expect. Well, we're not sure why that is. And somebody will come up with a bunch of excuses in order to protect their job.
Wow, we never hear Dying Breed rant that much. He had a lot to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Left Eye.
No, dude. I'm sorry, I got in the middle of your rant there. I was like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, wait, it says Star Wars at the top, and it says not pro-war, but war is in the thing that you wrote under Star Wars, and
Yeah.
there was 3 movies of a war. Okay,
Yeah,
though.
left eye.
Okay.
Left eye. Yeah. Yeah, Wars is in the
This
title.
eye sees it. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's like I said. Like every bit of Star Wars media is ultimately about war. And like original Star Wars, like one of the big inspirations was like World War II movies. So yeah, like there's a little bit of pro-war in there, and so much that they're showing that war, it's cool as far as like in movies goes. So I don't know.
I like how they have it listed. They have not pro-war listed, but I'm kind of like, and yet you have to have an antagonist to drive the series. Otherwise, it's everybody's getting along and playing together in the nice, friendly Space Republic. Kind of feels a little bit like 5E for some reason, guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know what bothers me the most about this whiteboard? The middle column, Star Wars, right? The Force is number 7. They have 8.
Wow.
The Force is number 7.
It's only more important than complicated monsters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and no
those,
single main character. Yeah.
Those complicated giant green pigmen. Yeah, they were very complicated in.
It was like
I would think
pig mask on Joe Rogan.
He doesn't need one.
I would think I don't want to dictate what they have or have to talk about in a Star Wars meeting or write on their notes, like knowing how artists work or whatever. But I would think that the Force would be some shit that just off the top of your head, you're like, all right, who uses this? Where is it? How important is it to this story?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, as opposed to being down.
Was this season 1 of The Mandalorian? That all that on there, season 2, or?
I don't know which season that was all for, but
honestly, but it is The Mandalorian, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, why is it Star Wars, though?
Well, no, I think that was from the High Republic Initiative.
Yeah, it was. Okay. It was from the High Republic. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, we're gonna try and do that. Got it. My bad.
He's just kind of throwing a parallel to this is the way they've been thinking about the franchise as a whole.
Got it. Okay, that's why I was confused there too. Okay.
Now, Star Wars has proven itself able to think creatively when it comes to large-scale creatures in the past. Think of the ogre-like, grotesque Rancor. Should the writers have come up with something unique and compelling here? Look, I don't think there was any special onus on them to do so, and that was their mindset as well, so we get something that's a lazily unimaginative cross between a crocodile and a diplodocus, and we get to watch it writhe and spasm in a visually nauseating purgatory between 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional, while the tribe blast it with lasers.
Yeah, I mean, people have been complaining about the CG for a while now. I mean, how bad it is in the Marvel movies and how bad it is in everything else that Disney is doing. Because, yeah, I mean, they're running their CG effects artists ragged. I don't know.
So I didn't watch this season, but I hear this guy's complaints about it, but I try to think anytime I have a complaint about what's happening, like try to think of a situation where it's happened before and the difference. Does anyone have an actual issue with this big dinosaur thing jumping out of the water? Because I would think, looking back at the movies, I think when they were in trouble with like the actual monsters, then I was like, okay, that's cool. It gives me a sense of adventure. And I think Star Wars, especially with the sentient aliens, they don't really have a lot of character or cool designs. A lot of their aliens look like shit. So I appreciate a giant monster in a Star Wars universe and seeing how these characters' skills get them out of real world issues, not just war, like man-made issues.
No, I agree. I didn't mind the giant monsters. Those are actually like some of my favorite parts from like these shows. Like in one of the seasons when they're like on that ice planet and the giant spider things like come at them and stuff. Like that, I thought that was cool. So yeah, I like seeing that stuff. So I had like no issue with this. Like giant crocodile, yeah, I'm in. That's the kind of stuff I would throw into my D&D games. So yeah.
With Star Wars, it's like I'd like to see something a little more like that's just a big crocodile, dude.
Yeah, but the thing in the meteor is just a giant worm. I mean, like.
So when he
go ahead.
Okay, when he helped the Tuscans hunt the crate dragon,
yeah,
right?
that was a cool
meant
scene,
something, right? That was done to forward the plot. There were stakes and so on. This just seems to have happened randomly.
Yeah,
right?
well, he rolled a random encounter, and that's what happened.
Well, I mean, and yeah, Steven has a point. Yeah, it was in shallow water. It's like nobody saw this thing
At all.
That
Yeah.
was something to
They put
bring
a
up.
kid in there too.
I mean, these guys, the Mandalorians, have like all kinds of sophisticated, equipment in their helmets and stuff like that. Because they have electronics and shit in it. I mean, it's been proven in their armor and everything else. And it's like, and nobody picked up a heat signature or anything that's that big.
A huge signature coming.
Oh, it's cold-blooded.
I mean, I'm guessing it sounds like it's culture to go to that planet, though, right? To do this rite of passage or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm just like, well, see, I don't know that's not, native to the planet that y'all are doing this ritual on.
Yeah, it's like nobody
about
checked
that.
the water ahead of time. Guys, did you make sure there's not giant alligators out there before we perform this important ritual ceremony with all these children?
Well, was there any like sign of like the water shifting before that thing even came out? Because like with how big that thing is going to be, it's gonna disrupt a lot of water.
Yeah.
Moving. Like, no, that thing just came out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, clearly the people who write this shit have no concept of physics or displacement and buoyancy or anything.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, and just even ignoring the more realistic aspects of it. They don't have any idea of what it makes to create a story. There's no foreshadowing. There's no relevance.
All this monster.
It's like Jim said earlier, and something that I was going to say.
I'm sorry, kid. We held our childhood initiation ceremony at a location known to be inhabited by megafauna. That's the last thing.
That's a good one, man.
Well, to be fair, they are on a foreign planet that isn't like the native planet. But no, this whole thing is just like basically a setup to get like Bo-Katan accepted by the other Mandalorians because they're from different sects, and like the all helmet all the time Mandalorians don't like her. So yeah.
Oh my god! Fucking Jaws reference.
So this didn't advance the plot. This was just a time for her to show off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, oh hey, Bo-Katan saved our children. I guess she's cool now. That's basically that's basically what they did.
It wasn't actually Bo-Katan because as he continues, you'll find out.
In a voice
Well,
that sounds like it has been
Bo-Katan's the
electronically
bird
slowed
thing,
down
yeah.
and pitched by 50%, Amanda Bro orders the kids to safety.
Mando, bro.
Young ones to the cage.
Which then raises the question, how come these much smaller kids already have helmets? Does that mean that Wesley Fett was behind schedule? Or do they get helmets from a young age, but are able to take them off at the dinner table and at bath time, and it's only when they reach proper initiation age that they have to leave it on for good? The warriors attempt to corral the creature, despite their collective weight and torsion of their wires being relative to the creature's bulk and strength, like trying to tether a Doberman with strands of cotton thread.
I mean, yeah, what is the sense of that? Oh, we're going to lash these little bitty wires to this thing and use our insignificant body weight to hold back a creature that clearly weighs hundreds of tons.
Also,
He's pissed off now.
look at the plating of that big gator. Like, they're going for the biggest, thickest, hardest place on it to put the thermal detonators. Like,
Yeah.
really not gonna be good. You want to go for that little lip underneath, if anything.
Yeah, or put it on the white parts where it's softer because the underbelly of the creature. I mean,
I
Yeah,
want
I
to
mean,
shoot missiles at it and set it on fire.
I mean,
All I know is that if Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, was still alive, this shit never would have happened.
no, they probably would have brought him on as a creative consultant for this, but
Exactly.
They'll jump on the back and cover up their eyes.
No,
Probably
they would have asked him to be a Mandalorian.
they probably would have.
They would have threw him in there. It
would
would have been
have.
cool to see and a better production.
Yes, it would have. He'd have brought some realism to it. Crikey, well,
His kid's available. His kid's alive. You could have brought him on.
Oh,
Yeah.
What
right.
a beautiful specimen.
What an
Yeah.
awesome.
No, we don't want to hurt it. He's the last of its kind. He's just so rare. Oh my gosh.
Finally, our hero arrives to save the day, his ship heralded with an actually hilarious cheesy trumpet fanfare. He lands, and then we get our first Season 3 look at Grogu. Mando speaks with the armorer, who reiterates to him that he is no longer Mandalorian because he willingly took his helmet off. Mando says that he can find redemption and be unveiled back into the Order if he bathes in the living waters below the mines of Mandalore.
I don't know, but every time they say stuff like this, I keep thinking of Prince. Why don't you purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka? Clearly, Left Eye was on the same roll.
When are they going to give? When is the Mandalorian going to go and give little Grogu like something other than a potato sack to wear?
Oh,
No,
don't worry.
do that.
They
do
did
that
that.
in this
They
season.
gave him an entire IG-88 body to wear.
Yeah, he's got.
What?
He's a mecha pilot in this.
Yeah, he's a
in this
mecha pilot. Yeah,
season.
they turned IG-88 into a mecha for him to drive, and he literally drives IG-88 around like it's a big mech suit now.
So
Where's-
technically, everyone else is a kaiju.
Yeah.
Where's Grogu's training montage where he learns how to walk and flip
Yeah.
and use the Force?
That was all in like second season, I think, when he was supposed to have been training with Luke.
Yeah.
Wait. No, that was in Boba Fett. That was in that horrible Boba Fett series where they had that one episode where that was basically an episode of The Mandalorian where you see him with computer generated Luke.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's been training with Luke at that time.
Nah.
Damn, Steven, Guantanamo Bay is playing the show to inmates. CIA reports progress in interrogations. Shit. Oh, I love our audience, man. Oh, God.
For some bizarre reason, in this cavernous, sparse workspace, there happens to be an amusingly incongruous children-sized wooden table just in front of Mando, which Mando duly sits down at. Why is it there? Why are its dimensions suited more to Ewoks who might want to take a load off rather than buffed-up warriors in bulky armor? Mando explains further that the mines may still exist, based off evidence he has procured. Why have no Mandalores known to be adeptly starfaring and brave ever attempted to independently verify this about their own home planet? Unclear. Because this show is being watched by people who care more for Baby Yoda than pesky or cringe things like plot or exposition, Grogu was placed in shot again, and again, and again, to sustain the attention of viewers whose phones are dinging with inane notifications. We then switch to a
Yes.
scene of Mando asleep whilst careening through lightspeed, with the viewer treated to a long stretch of an inanimate latex puppet staring at a green screen lightspeed tunnel, which seems to feature gigantic ghost sperm racing to fertilize an intergalactic egg.
Gotta stop and absorb that one for a second. I mean, yeah, they've never actually shown what it looks like to be in hyperspace. So, other than, like the stars shifting suddenly, but I mean, this never looked tunnel-like, so that's kind of curious.
So it never built upon the big space semen.
I don't think they did. I mean, I had to watch Nerdrotic's review to catch the entirety of what was in season 3 of The Mandalorian. So since he never mentions it beyond this, and I don't think anything ever came of it. But that's kind of typical for Disney. It's like, hey, we got a plot thread that we're just never gonna pick up again.
These are creatures that live in deep space, traveling across the galaxy through hyperspace routes. Not familiar with this? Doesn't matter. Just take a minute to scroll. Your Instagram pic of your plate of restaurant food just got another like. And your hyper-edited TikTok monologue on the Lilo and Stitch race controversy seems to be performing well with your followers too.
Ooh. Wow. Sorry, I had to pause there for a second.
Grogu, disconcerted by the spectacle, slinks down to nestle with the slumbering Mando. How exactly does he manage this? There seems to be no visible crawl space between Mando's seat and the outer hull, so does Grogu crawl under the seat and then up between Mando's legs? Why would there be a child-sized crawl space in a tight, sleek cockpit, especially since the viewing space at the top is designed for a droid fixed into place?
I don't understand that either. Why they felt it was necessary to destroy his ship. Because the first ship that he had was great. Was the set too expensive for them to keep using or something?
I don't know. I kind of like the modified speeder thing though.
You like the silver speeder thing?
Yeah, I like those. I like those old the Naboo ships. They look cool.
Silver Skeeter.
I seriously wonder if it was a CG limitation thing, because the old ship had more not pixels, but more objects as part of its surface, and it was a more complex shape for a computer to render than that smooth dildo-like silver thing.
But how's he supposed to? I mean, he's still a bounty hunter, isn't he? So how's he supposed to transport prisoners in that thing?
Exactly.
Just take the heads.
Yeah, I mean, are they supposed to sit like? Is he supposed to sit bitch with the Mando or what?
Sit in his lap.
Yeah. You sit up front here and be a good prisoner, otherwise I'm gonna spank you.
Oh,
I'm watching you.
That's a good idea for my next fan fiction. Thanks.
Ew.
Anyway, the pair arrive on the planet Navarro to see Grief Karga about a droid. The Planetary Traffic Control Service asks him his reason for visiting.
Please state the purpose of your visit.
Here to meet an old friend.
Well, that's a satisfactory answer that justifies the inquiry in the first place and establishes a credible threshold for foreign visit security measures. If you're...
Had to Mando's Legs, a new cologne by Calvin Recline. Jesus.
I know. I kind of feel all of this is a little bit nitpicky because at the end of the day, this is just like it's pulp fantasy in space. You should have some allowances for silly shit to happen, but also give me a good story at the same time. That should be the main concern. That the story wasn't that good this season. Not that a droid wasn't all that logical about letting him on the planet.
Yeah, I guess so. And I mean that is fair comment. I mean there are lots of really good movies and shows out there that they do have some stupid incongruous stuff in that you can't explain, but we don't care because it's still fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's kind of like every 80s and 90s action movie. Yeah, it's like if you just sit there and nitpick those things, you'll start to hate them. But I mean, come on now, who doesn't like Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger? I mean, it's stupid, but it's a good movie. It's fun to watch.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
Let off some steam. Remember, Sully? I promised to kill you last. That's right, Matrix, you did. I lied.
Mind was active. Allow it to slump back into inertia with some generic Star Wars alien stuff. Look, it's Salacious Crumb creatures. You remember Salacious Crumb, a species that, rather than laughing with a kind of vicious mirth to unfolding circumstances that would prompt such a reaction, apparently just makes their insidious cackle as a matter of course, even if they're just slinking around in a tree in a public square. These creatures are called Quokian monkey lizards, by the way, but you needn't worry. There's a spat breaking up between two posters on a subreddit, so you can follow that for a moment or two.
He does reference this a lot, but this is kind of funny because I think part of his point is the fact that since this stuff, the audiences are expected to be so, distracted by devices and other shit that, they're not going to care.
Mindless consumption.
Exactly.
There is then a reunion with Carl Weathers' Grief Karga. He has two mini robots to carry the train of his cape, like indentured ladies-in-waiting, and who can trundle clatteringly and awkwardly downstairs, but have no apparent means of ascending stairs. We are then introduced to a robot assistant whose creative design is so painfully lame it evokes the catastrophically camp efforts of Buck Rogers. The robot.
Now, how many of you guys actually watched Buck Rogers in the 25th
I did.
century?
I just made the reference. Beady, beady, beady.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Back in the day? Oh, yeah, man. I grew up on that.
Me too.
Tweaky was great. Let's shut up.
I still love the intro music from the movie version. When it's like the intro and he's like dreaming and it's like all the hot chicks around him.
Yeah. I think I was 4 or 5 when I watched that on was it NBC back then? God.
Yeah,
that was a fun
NBC
show
back in the day. Left Eye and AJ, just so you guys know, I'm like the oldest dude on this panel, so I remember.
I'm the second oldest.
I'm like the OG nerd here, resident.
Yep.
Erin Gray in that jumpsuit.
Oh. Hey, Princess Ardala in her whatever
in
was
nothing.
next to nothing. Oof.
Robot with a face like a slot machine informs Karga that there are some pirates who wish to talk to him. These pirates are milling outside a building, and the lead pirate lurches and cavorts lecherously under his prosthetics like a student actor at community theatre. And then we are sucked into an anomalous dialogue rift from which it begins to feel escape is not possible. The lead pirate, whose voice oscillates haphazardly and indiscriminately between Cockney and Mid-Atlantic, invites Karga into the building for a drink.
Come, join us for a drink.
In a moment of droll dialogue comedy gold, Karga tells the pirate,
This is a school.
There is then a witty retort.
Well, that explains why she wouldn't let me inside.
And then it's time to move on from drinks and locations to a more dynamic escalation in their exchange.
Join me for a drink back at my office.
Well, almost time.
We drink here.
Oh, we've still got a ways to go, but at least we've overcome the wry discrepancy about the building.
That is the school now.
So we're definitely done with this naggingly repetitive loop of interaction.
I say it's still a bar.
Definitely done.
Not if you serve me a drink.
Not in my school.
Anyway, after this script writing impotent and unaroused circle jerk, there is a shootout in which you wish everyone dies.
Oh, man. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I love Carl Weathers as an actor. I've seen a lot of movies that he's been in, and I liked seeing him in The Mandalorian. And I was glad they brought him back. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, golly, Carl, at what point do you just kind of go, well, I needed a paycheck?
Well, I mean, he did. You know,
He did.
The guy
Yeah.
needed a paycheck, and I love Carl too. Carl's a great actor, actually.
He is a great actor, and he's a great human
he's
being.
a really good actor. He's very underrated.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I'm starting to understand that the actors don't really know the story that's happening. They just know their parts in it.
Uh-huh.
So I can't really be mad at them for partaking in a bad production such as this, because I think it's bad because it's an attached property, like a known property, and we know stuff that should be here and it's not happening.
Mhm.
But I think it's when they come out and they say, if you don't like this, then you're this or that, or just have these strong opinions as opposed to shutting the fuck up and just be like, hey, it was a movie. I had fun working on it. Go see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's all these other things outside to make me be like, okay, how are you compromised? What did they tell you? What do you know behind the curtain that you need to push this on people so much?
I definitely appreciate actors that know they're in a bad production and will just like say so. And when you ask them about it, it's like, yeah, I had to like pay for my swimming pool. What of it? Like,
Well,
you
I
know?
mean, that's what just kind of what Jeremy Irons said whenever he did the Dungeons and Dragons movie back in 2000.
Yeah.
He's like, I just bought a castle. I had to pay for it.
Yeah, Michael
Nick
Caine is
Cage's
also
career.
yeah.
Crazy.
Michael Caine is also on record of like doing that. Like they asked him about it, and he literally said like, "Yeah, I just bought like a new swimming pool," and like
yeah.
I was going to say that, Victor. Michael Caine said that once. He won an award, like a Lifetime Achievement Award or something, and he gave that speech. And
I think that was about Jaws 4.
Yeah, the quote was something to the effect of, I've been in this industry a long time, and I've made a lot of crap, and I've made a lot of good stuff, and it was about getting work and getting paid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I also think part of it's like, well, hey, if I don't rock the boat, I can basically just attend cons the rest of my life, get paid to do it, and then that's all I have to do is just sit, answer questions over and over and over, and I'm fine. So man, I think it's all other reasons. Like once the show is over, I mean, like if he doesn't come back for season 3, he's always going to be at every Star Wars convention.
True.
Just because he was in it. So I mean, I think that's the other thing of not wanting to rock the boat is because it's like, well, hey, I know that I'm not necessarily top billing on this show, but if there's ever, a convention that's going to be coming up between, Star Wars, Disney, any of them, like I can always go, and then at least I can get the money from that. So I think that's the other reason you'd want to do this too.
Yeah, I thought that after the first couple of seasons of Picard that nobody would want to go and sit at any of those guys' tables and get their interviews, but apparently season 3 was a big hit, so I guess I'm wrong on that one.
This reminds me. This is kind of off topic, but sort of also on topic because it's about like the conventions and stuff. But they asked like George Lazenby, who was like James Bond, like the worst James Bond, basically. He did like one movie. They asked him if he ever like had sex with like some of the Bond girls, and he was like, "Yeah, of course." But he meant when they were like already 70, on like when he was like doing the cons and stuff.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then Mando informs Karga that he wants to resurrect IG-11, who has been elevated and consecrated to the noble perpetuity of statudom, which is apparently a thing that is appropriate for a soulless assassin droid.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, in the whole scope of this planet's modern history, no figure, no poet, magistrate, inventor, or scientist is more deserving of pride of place beneath the municipal buildings than the partial remains of the Star Wars equivalent of a Cyberdyne Systems hunter-killer. Also bear in mind that the self-destruct explosive device that IG-11 set off to comprehensively obliterate himself was located square in the middle of his chest, and yet his exhumed remains are his upper torso and head. Anywho, IG-11 reanimates and immediately tries to kill Grogu, scraping along like a dismembered Terminator driven to kill a member of the Connor family, and rather than be subdued by repeated laser blasts, is ultimately put to rights by a ceremonial bust statue that is able to squish his armor-plated cranium like tin. While we're contending with this absurdity, we're given a 1960s James Bond-level pun, which is exactly the kind of response tonally you want from a cool bounty-hunting intergalactic badass.
Now that's using your head.
No, I like it. That's good. That's good. That's the redeeming point right there. That's awesome. You just talked about Commando, man. Come on.
Yeah. But I mean, that kind of worked for Schwarzenegger because he was known for doing those one-liners and quips, and he made those up himself.
Oh, come on, man.
Well, but at the same time, though, the entire movie of Commando was him doing that for all the run.
Yeah.
The stupid pun one-liner, man. I'm for it. I'm for it.
I'm just more annoyed by the fact that it looks like the IG-11's head was crushed by the statue, but him blowing himself up with the thermal detonator did nothing to it.
Yeah, that kind of got me too. Is the fact that he exploded himself from the center of his chest, and yet somehow his upper torso managed to survive the explosion, and it was crushed by a statue.
Well, I mean, Echo Chamberlain talks about how it was like the Terminator, but that's exactly what that was. That was an homage to the 1984 James Cameron Terminator movie with a thing keeps coming and it gets crushed at the end.
Well, in the Terminator, that's
the appeal. It's the same thing that Hollywood does this all the time. They go back and it's like, ooh, this was cool. The audiences liked that. We'll repurpose it and put it in our new thing. I mean, that's just kind of. I'm not defending them. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it. But I think the bust falling on the head's stupid. I like the one-liner though.
Oh, and Grimm got a bit of a shout out as Lord Todd says, porn is written better than his trash, and then Just a Passerby says, at least Grim Jim's porn is.
I'm fine with silly one-liners, like whatever.
I'd have gone with busted.
Yeah, that would have been better.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
In order to properly fix IG-11, Mando visits the Anzellans, who were originally these construction worker Fraggles from Fraggle Rock, who collectively suffered horrific third-degree burns in a mass incident and now inhabit a grotto fixing droids.
Yeah, the dozers.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Though kind of cute, there's also something kind of janky about them, and weirdly, their dialogue doesn't always match up with their mouth movements.
This one poodle.
Oh.
What?
Disney.
What?
Oh,
Ironcaster just had a blue screen moment there.
The puppet mouth.
Yeah.
Like, how badly that was lined up. Just no.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like it because it just harkens back to like bad 80s practical effects. which I think is what Star Wars should be about.
Should be.
Leaving IG-11 in these creatures' hands, Mando and Grogu depart, and are almost straight away set upon by the earlier pirate and a crew of others. Shall we chuck in a fighter sequence that more or less shamelessly rips off the asteroid battle chase in Empire Strikes Back? Might as well. We then are stopped in our tracks by the appearance of this guy, who looks
Oh God, I love this description.
like someone poorly cosplaying as the evil sea captain out of Pirates of the Caribbean, except he fucked it up by taping on the kind of green tinselly shit people wear as fake hair at office parties or at New Year's as a nominal beard, but it rained on the way to the convention, and he got soaked while dashing from the Uber to the main doors. Shall we give him a cool robotic affected voice, or get a classically trained voice actor to give it some distinction or particular character?
From a man who just destroyed 4 of my...
Nah.
What? That's like
It's Kelp, man.
it's just like that dude just talking to him like, "Hey, what's up?"
And not only that, but he had a lisp. If you didn't notice, so I'm like, oh.
Oh, you're saying that a man made out of kelp can't have a normal voice? What are you, a racist? Come on.
I'm the Dread Pirate Steve.
Yes. I'm still waiting on oh God on Kit Marlowe to come up with something witty for this because he always does.
Shall we add in a Mandalorian castle that looks like a Soviet Politburo building from the 1970s? Yeah, go ahead. And a robot who, it seems, is just standing there randomly with no forewarning of an arrival, and who, the other 99.9% of the time, just hangs out standing still in the rain? Does he go back inside at night? Finally, Mando encounters Bo-Katan. Similar to the robot, a fair question is, how long prior to Mando's arrival had she just been sprawled out on this humongous chair? Did she spend vast amounts of time here? In the silence, with no stimulation and no other people to interact with?
Not only that, but that chair really looks uncomfortable. I mean,
It does.
because I mean, it's like that had to be hard on her back.
Not ergonomic at all.
Nope.
I mean, the robot that waiting, I don't mind. I mean, I assume they have sensors that could have like noticed him coming in from like deep space, and it's like, yeah, he's flying right towards us. Let's let's go out to greet him.
Yeah,
Victor.
and it's only a droid, so who gives a shit?
Just screams, places, everyone. Mando's coming. I need to look cool. Like I don't care.
Victor's defending this.
Both bits remind me of Hitchhiker's Guide, where Marvin gets stuck parking cars. For
Well,
like centuries.
okay, you gotta remember, T-shirt. I have actually watched this season. Out of the whole panel, I'm the only one who has watched this. There's way worse problems than all the shit that he's nitpicking about. So
It didn't bother me. Like, he could easily just have like if there's something like coming aimed directly at our building from like a mile or two out, yeah, the droid goes out to check it out.
he's nitpicking about a droid waiting on Mando. Meanwhile, Lizzo was in this season. Come on.
Yeah, he didn't even get to that.
It ain't got
I'm
it.
kind of with Victor on this. It's a little nitpicky on stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, at the
Okay, okay.
It's silly pulp space fantasy. Like, you could
She had
got that.
plenty of time.
Yeah, so we got to go in.
So she had plenty of time to spot him coming and adopt the most nonchalant position she could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
and
have a conversation
you can
about
go back
the dark
to the original movies. I'm sorry. You can go back to the original movies and nitpick those all day long too.
Yeah.
True.
Saber and Mando's intentions to visit the homeworld. And that, thank God, is that. Now, you might have assumed that this was going to be a review of the entire Series 3, especially given it just wrapped up. Well, that's not going to happen because my heart and my soul can't take it. I also don't want to expend my own time watching another 7 episodes of this. So, that's as far as I'm taking it, which is approximately 34 minutes longer than you need to.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it was a funny video. It was a little bit nitpicky. I prefer his videos about like that stupid Witcher spin-off and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, Anyway, guys, that was from our buddy the Echo Chamberlain. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. You should go subscribe to his channel and maybe mine too, because I need subs too.
I suppose.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, everybody out there in the audience and none on the panel, I think the panel already knows about this, but we hit our watch hours for this channel. So we're now in the last stage of getting monetized on this channel, which is we just got to get the 1,000 subs, man. So if you know anybody who would be interested in this, yeah, by all means, get them to subscribe and watch, because I think we're kind of funny.
Yeah,
Sorta.
subscribe. I need my paycheck for my monthly paycheck from T-shirt Historian.
Yeah. I'm hoping to see some revenue myself. I'm tired of begging people for money.
We have our moments, I think. Usually Jim kind of handles the comedy.
Yeah, he is. So what do you guys think? You guys, the rest of y'all who haven't seen The Mandalorian, you want to just rush right out and go subscribe to Disney Plus so you can watch it?
Hell no.
I'll be honest. I did not subscribe to Disney Plus to watch it.
Oh,
So,
I haven't watched it, but I didn't subscribe to Disney Plus either. But I can watch it if I want to.
I went to Tortuga. I took my sailing ship and I went straight to Tortuga.
Oh, Dutch Pirates, how original. I don't have that clip on here anymore. Otherwise, I'd play it for you. But yeah, let's see. Maybe this one will do.
They're dissolving this thing in a molten salt, and they're doing electrochemistry on it. Why don't they call it molten salt? They want.
Fucking George Lucas in the background randomly.
Yeah, just George Lucas in the back, and they didn't know who it was. It was just like,
Yeah.
I just
It was just some random documentary. I think it wasn't even like anything to do with him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, let's see. By the way, I did not ask Left Eye or AJ this ahead of time, and I probably should have just to do that. But guys, how big a role-playing game nerds are you?
Not really, but I'm not gonna, put down anyone that's about that. My
Okay.
favorite RPG is like Halo 2.
We should specify when he's talking about RPGs, he's talking about having
tabletops.
Yeah.
I got like the book for Dungeons and Dragons and how to set all that up, but I've never been in a campaign or anything like that before.
What? Really?
Yeah, I got.
I've
I was
never
gonna get
done.
into it, but like the pandemic hit, so I didn't really get to do it. But like I live a few miles from a place that actually does that, so I should probably look into that at some point.
Oh, you're sitting with all of us, and we're all pretty much tabletop writers or big hardcore gamers.
Yep.
Nope.
T-shirt and Grim both will run games on Sundays, so that will like play and stream on YouTube.
Okay.
You're always welcome to join.
I like how AJ is just sitting down there. He's like, man, what the fuck?
These fucking nerds.
No, I didn't. Nah, man, I want to play a campaign. I want to participate in the campaign. Like, I like to see people do it. And then I've seen people, I guess, create actual characters off of it. So, I mean, I'm writing the goddamn comic books myself. So the RPG aspect and like you're creating a story, that's cool as shit. I don't think I would want to keep up with all the math and all that of like attacks and defense and dodging and all that type of stuff. But I'm cool with the RPG aspect. I love a good story.
There's a lot of systems where you don't really have to worry about that too much as a player. Like a lot of that can be handled by the GM, and he's just like, "Yeah, roll your dice," and then you just roll your dice, and then the GM, he knows what's happening. So, yeah.
Or they tell you to roll your dice.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah, I was watching G&G with their tabletop stuff, and I was drawing them as characters. So I was having fun with it.
Yeah, I got a quick question, y'all. Have y'all do not know what Munchkins is?
Munchkin?
No? Yeah, Munchkins. That tabletop game. Do y'all consider that like light D&D?
Well,
ego. I don't know.
I didn't play it. I'm not saying I played it. I'm not saying I played it. I didn't play it.
No,
I didn't play it. I didn't play it. I didn't play it.
Just kick him off.
It's okay if you played it.
I didn't play it. My wife and her friends were playing. I'm like, it looks like Dungeons and Dragons to me. But
I was just laughing at Grim, man.
me and a friend of mine wrote the Munchkin's Guide to Power Gaming back in 1999 through 2000.
Wow.
And that book is what set off the entire Munchkin card game.
Yeah,
empire.
he basically invented Munchkin, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we get no money.
Yeah.
It was our first proper professional job. We signed a shitty contract, and they're dicks.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I am sorry, sir. I did not know I stepped on that. Wow. Okay.
It's fine. I'm over it. Well, not over it, but the money would be nice. But
I'd be punching air in my sleep, man. That's I'd be upset. Okay.
yeah, live and learn.
Oh, and we got Snowdub on, so I gotta go play his clip really quick, guys.
Go ahead, skin it. Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
I was gonna tell you to play my clip, but I don't know.
Which one's your clip?
The waffle one.
Oh, and yeah, I took that one off.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I took it off. Well, it was because it was during the time when YouTube was cracking down on language.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
So I pulled all my expletive clips off because that was one of my favorites. But I do have one you should like, Victor. Here, try this one.
I mean, I do love Charles Bronson, and yeah.
Yep, that was a Japanese commercial for Mandem cologne and perfume that Charles Bronson shot way back in the day.
I would wear
that. I don't want to see my clip T-shirt. It's probably some shit from Deliverance.
It could be.
Or you got a purty mouth.
You got a purty mouth.
Squeal like a piggy boy.
Squeal like a pig. I don't know. I don't even know if I have anything. Oh, actually, Victor, I do still have this one.
You Dutch are scum.
Yes.
There you go.
See, proof. I'm not lying.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Can't really make out my name, but it's there.
I see Grim. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn, dude.
Grim and Mortimer sounds like some kind of like pair of villains.
It does.
Like some really polite, like Victorian era villains, like wearing like suits and everything.
Like Krupp and Vandermeer.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a really high-end haberdashery.
Yeah, like a Savile Row or like Taylor or something. Grim and Mortimer.
Yeah.
There was one bit of news that happened this week. I feel as though we are almost obligated to discuss.
With the Matt Mercer?
God.
Yeah. You know more about that one than I do, Caster, which is one of the reasons why I was kind of segueing into tabletop games and the Matt Mercer thing.
So for Left Eye, AJ, and anyone out there who might not be aware, who is somehow watching this show without knowing much about tabletop games.
Could happen.
Could happen.
Yeah. I pulled up the article from Darrington Press here, and I figured we'll just use that as a big quick reference for going over this.
Okay.
Matt Mercer is, of course, the host, and I think the CEO or boss of their company. Basically runs Critical Role, as many know, is one of the most popular Let's Plays on YouTube. Really, having been tied with, it was popular enough that they were able to get their campaign setting published under Wizards of the Coast for Dungeons and Dragons. So it's like it's not just.
I hate to interrupt, but I think Travis is actually CEO.
Oh,
Mercer's like creative head of. He's like a creative head or something. I don't know the exact title. But I think Travis is actually CEO.
Thank you. Like I don't really follow them too much, but this was still something that had happened this week. To kind of get to the point of it, they've come out and announced that they will be publishing their own role playing game, and with their game being one of the most popular around, they're no doubt going to get people to follow after. Do we actually have the name? Oh, there it is. Daggerheart.
Daggerheart. and Guardians of Matrimonia, the cooperative board game of fantasy elite wedding planners. What?
Yeah, that was the article I read. That was a game that Marisha and Matt before their wedding actually created. It was kind of part of the. I don't know if it was being used in their wedding ceremony or what, but it had something to do with them planning their wedding.
That's what I read.
This is a thing.
Hold on, that's what they're doing, playing the wedding, the characters. That's the point of the game.
Yeah,
they're wedding planners, bro.
They've created the fucking Sims of y'all tabletop.
God damn.
Guys,
to be fair, this is the card. So yeah.
I think this changes the game. I think we're gonna have to make the show all about fantasy wedding planning.
Yeah, and cooking contests and I don't know.
Just all the expansions of all the other jobs that they're gonna provide for them: the cooking, the chefs, interior decorators. I ride horses. The Barbie, she came out with a game like that or some shit. Like y'all about to see a wave of fuckery.
Seeing who can hire the cheapest Mexican landscapers. Hello, my name is Jose. You called me to do your lawn?
There you go.
Oh, Ortiz's real voice came out.
Oh, damn it. My real voice came out.
No, dude, all I'm saying is that when I was trying to help plan, me and my wife, we didn't even didn't get a wedding planner. We did it ourselves. So I'm just like, at what point we started getting arguments over like what things that I wanted versus things that she wanted. And I remember I made her so mad one time. She wrote me an email, and I was in the same room, but she sent me an email with bullet points of how pissed she was at me. There's no way I turn around and play this with that on the line. Like, marriage over. If there's something, try to play this.
Oh my god,
she was so mad she couldn't even talk to you face to face about it, man.
No, I looked at her while I was reading the email. I was like, I looked at the timestamp. It's like, she literally wrote this 5 minutes ago. I have not left all day. It's in the middle of COVID, so we're stuck in the apartment. And like, I was mad because she had all these good bullet points, and so she'd be festering. She's been festering over this for like 4.5 months, it appears. And she's like, oh, so I was like, so I made sure you got the ice luge. She's like, I made sure the wedding topper had, Wonder Woman and the Flash on it, which I didn't want. I was like, wow, okay, I got roasted, in an email. So,
jeez.
Yeah, so there's no way I would play this wedding planners game with all that on the line. There's no way.
It seems like a complete gimmick. People are going to play it once and then throw it into their cupboard. And, it's going to make 3 million or something on Kickstarter. Like, we all know this. So, yeah.
Okay, so Left Eye, I got to ask. Did she marry you before your injury to your eye? Or?
No. Okay, so the weird thing is like, we met in Philly, even though we're both from Texas. Like, I was living out there since like 2009. And I met her in 2018, and she'd only been there for like 5 weeks because she moved out there for her job. So what happened is because I had the issue with my eye and the depth perception, and when you're in your old city, they have the cobblestones, and it was in the middle of like November, December. So I actually had a cane. This shit was it was a sparkly purple and blue cane that I brought to. It was like one of those ones you could fold up, so it looked like I was blind, so you could fold it out. But it was sparkly and had my initials on it. So it looked really cool. And so like I actually brought it to the first date so I could let her know, like, hey, look, it's not like a thing where I've got an issue where just the eye's a different color. Like, I really can't see in these cobblestones. The last thing I want to do is bust my ass and lose another one of my organs. So she knew that going in, but like as we were like had more of a relationship, I let it go because she'd always just stay on my right side. So she kind of became my cane more or less. But yes, I let everyone know, like, I have hearing loss on top of the eye thing. So it's just like, well, hey, you're dating a guy with 3.5 senses. So this is what you're getting off the top,
Yeah.
But yeah, God bless her. She took it. She was like, all right, I'm okay with this. And now 5 years later, we're married. So
I still think you need to tell the cinema owners when you go to the movie theaters that you demand half off.
I'm trying to do it. It's just the kid. It's like if they were like people that are under the age of 17, I just don't know how they're gonna take it. I don't want to make a kid cry by doing it. I am so afraid the kid's gonna cry and then bring a manager over and then be like, you know, we see you, we understand you, we are gonna give you. I'm like, you know what? Fuck, this isn't even funny anymore. I can't do this, guys. I'll try it one day. That's my only fear.
That's how they speak.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's what I'm afraid of. I'm just like, oh god, I don't know if this isn't even fun anymore. So
I think they'll be more likely to come for you because, like, well, not only do you have that, you're also black, so it's like, hey, he's like a unicorn for us. He's checking out multiple.
See, and
everybody wants to hire him.
My ass would wind up on CNN. I'm like, shit, and I got Don Lemon interviewing me now. I'm like, this is terrible.
now, if we could get Left Eye to go transgender, as you know, then we could we would cover all of our bases. Everybody would hire him.
So I'm gonna show y'all something. So I'm gonna find the photo. I'm gonna find the photo from last night.
Abomination.
No. I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna explain. This is what happened. This is what happened. All right. So we're in San Antonio. And it is Fiesta, right? So like I didn't know this, but like my wife invited me out with her friends, but didn't tell me that the guy that I was thinking was gonna be there at the place that's really nice, he actually went to the ranch. So I'm there with all the women. And they're like, well, hey, you know what? Hanging out with the girls. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll put this on, right? I had a nice decorative shirt for Fiesta, some shorts. I was good. I forgot that I had this thing on, but I was asking my wife, I was like, honey, this is like the third free drink I've gotten. I don't know why. It must be the shirt. So I will find the photo. Hold on one second, guys. Well, she Rose got me.
Oh no.
She's emailing me. She's emailing me the photo now. Like I want to getting.
Going to send some more bullet points.
I told her about your email that you sent me when you got mad at me. She's triggered by it now. She's like, if you ever. I'll send you guys I'll show you guys the photo when I have it. Hold on.
Our Jew is here. We have all of our representation.
Better late than pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Little dude birthday party. Apologies, but I was playing pinball for 4 hours. So really priorities, right?
Yeah.
So,
You're way low, Ryan. Need to pick your mic up.
Sorry. How's that?
More.
Picture
a little bit more.
Oh God, I don't want to blow you guys out. How's that?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I mean, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
You're Jewish. You can't blow us out. Come
Yeah.
on.
I'm just happy I don't have to pimp your shit now.
I mean,
Fuck. Look, I came in and I chased the guests away.
Oh. Damn it.
Oh no. I'm trying. My wife is eagerly trying to find this photo on there. And I will say this is at least after 6 or 7 beers and Journey came on. Okay, I must preface this as soon as I find this. Y'all keep going.
So what's the big news this week, guys?
Well, you just missed the Mandalorian breakdown, which was hilarious. Although a bit persnickety according to Victor, but I mean that's fair.
Well, me too.
Yeah, and you. I was gonna. We were just talking about the Matt Mercer new games that he's releasing.
Well, I can't fault the man. I mean, that's going to be a cash cow for him.
Oh yeah,
that's one of the channels that our sparkly friends do spend in. So I would be doing the same thing that he is. I don't fault him, and I'm the first one that will fault him for a lot of shit. So.
And anything that takes a bit of power away from Wizards of the Coast is good by me. So
they're also starting like a secondary campaign as well.
I saw that.
If you recall, with like season 4 or some of the most like Sparkle Troll complaints that have been had over him is there's not enough diversity. So yeah. I can't help but wonder if they're not going to be casting to check some boxes.
Well, that's the thing that Victor said, and of course my brain immediately went there. They're anything away from Wizards of the Coast, but is it a better move or is it a lateral, or are we losing yardage on this one with them breaking away too? You know, it's not exactly, I don't know, common sense / OSR.
Yeah.
So
the further their fan base strays away from D&D, the better it would be for us.
No kidding.
Is it? But look at Darkity Dark. Is that better than
Yeah,
us?
but that is
Or
still
better for
D&D.
us?
That is still D&D adjacent though. That's like a mix between 5e and OSR. But if when they have like their own like D6 system and they're just like talking about that and like complaining about gatekeeping in that system and they leave D&D alone, I'm fine with that.
And it's teaching a whole bunch of people that there are other games.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's going to be bad for D&D. I don't think they're going to take the whole audience with them, but I think it'll be good for everybody else. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
I don't think it's going to have an effect on the OSR at all, because the people that are Critical Role fans aren't OSR fans anyway. I mean, it's a completely different market. I mean, and like you said, Ryan, I mean, you can't blame the guy. I mean, you're going to go where your bread and butter is. I mean, you're setting yourself up for, life success financially. I mean, I'd do it too. I really would.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Third rate, hard getting work as a voice actor. That's pretty much the Critical Role company, and I'm not saying that to shit on them. I'm below that. I'm not even in that category. But they took shit and turned it into lemonade, and it's working out, and they're cashing it into the bank. And I do not blame them. And if they happen to have an audience that they can get to financially support them, which they can. What they raised last time, $7 million on Kickstarter, something like that.
Wasn't it like, like something like that?
It was an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
Then I'm all for it. Go make those dollars, Matt.
I'll be honest. If Wizards of the Coast came to me and said, "Hey Victor, you want to make like 150K a year, like writing for us?" I would have blue hair and a nose ring tomorrow. So.
Hell yeah. It's true though.
And I would be photoshopping the shit out of that and posting it on Twitter.
Yes,
I would just be frantically deleting all my streams and.
As it is, they view all of us from the OSR as smelly old guys making funny voices in a basement. So.
Don't forget the part where like, they take delight in their characters being killed off.
Yeah, and we just murder characters left, right, and center because that's what we do. I mean,
sometimes.
And one of the things that I wonder about is, and I haven't researched this, it just kind of occurred to me, how does the timing of Critical Role's game releases, because there's more than one, but how does the timing of their game releases compare to the VTT from Wizards of the Coast?
It's
because that could have a huge effect on the VTT.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think what we're seeing though is ultimately the OGL situation from January, where Wizards of the Coast had famously basically tried to change the board and the rules of effectively how everyone could publish their RPG products just due to OGL. That I think what we're seeing is the sped up timetable that Mercer and his people were planning to do, like, because people were talking about for years now, like, eventually they'll go away from 5th edition and Wizards of the Coast to try to keep that larger cut of the profits for themselves.
See that man's not amused by that.
I didn't realize I was muted, but I'm glad I was. I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. Y'all was talking about you.
No,
I know nothing about it.
Exactly. That was kind of my point. It's kind of like we will stray right off into tabletop geekdom, like at the drop of a hat, and we will go so deep that you two guys will be just lost in it. And I don't want to do that to you guys.
No, I mean the only thing for me is just like, I mean, I don't hear or see so well, so I mean I got both of disabilities. Like, why would I choose a character with a disability? Like, unless you're telling me it's a trade off. Like, hey, I lost an eye, but I can kind of see the future, I guess. But
I mean, We got three players here on our stream who are also disabled and would not want their disabilities as character traits.
I am literally legally disabled. I get government money for being disabled. I don't want to play a disabled character. I want to be Conan. I want to be 6'8" and muscular and like swing a giant sword and be badass and have sex with hot maidens. Like that's what I want to do.
Exactly.
Vic, you really are black. Then you getting money from the government.
Yeah. Yes.
That's so cold. I love that.
Just as 3 black dudes hanging out.
I take back everything I said about you.
Yeah.
And me personally, I don't, that's not my goal in life is to, be represented in my tabletop games. Is I don't need a fat Mexican as a, as a character to be played.
No, as far as the disability though, it was funny when Marvel made the disabled Spider-Man, Spider-Girl, trans or whatever character, and apparently she folds the wheelchair up and throws it on her back, and I'm just like, you know what? That could be cool if the shit turned into like some spider legs and it's helping you to move around. But no, she just swung and they just know, like, just put the book out, no creativity. You never see her use her legs or have to touch the ground. It's always her like swinging or in like action. So I'm like, there's questions that you got to answer here for me. So yeah, disability is trash, but hey, if you can make it work.
Well, I mean, that's one thing. That's one thing I think all of us have in common is like whether it's our role-playing games, our movies, our TV shows, or our comic books, is the pandering has got to stop because it's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the highest priority.
Mm-hmm.
What colored characters do and sexuality of characters do we need to put in this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or
Right,
the straight up
just
replacement
good
of characters,
right?
Yeah.
I just want good characters. I don't need a qualifier before or after it. I want characters. And if they happen to be black, white, Mexican, Jews, who cares? If they happen to be male, female, somewhere in between, I don't give a shit. If it's entertaining and compelling, I'm on board.
Yeah.
Right. I think this is ultimately though why it's sort of this subject here, the fact that the current media landscape is trying to push all this is why so many people are walking away. So many people are going to anime.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
I just want to see a story about a guy like killing goblins.
Yeah.
Well, hell, I mean, it's like they fucked up the Punisher. How do you ruin that? This is a guy with a hard-on for vengeance, for kills criminals and has a skull on his chest, and they fucked that up. Let's give him swords.
Yeah, let's make him a ninja.
Make him a ninja.
Mess up the Punisher, and they still managed to do it. So
Well, the only reason they did that is because they're mad that the police and military they like that skull. That's like literally the only reason.
We are so tired because those military and police organizations have co-opted the symbol for our character, so we're going to just say fuck you and make a whole new symbol.
I was gonna say the annoying part about that whole the whole diversity push and like, oh, we need like disabled like D&D characters or whatever. When like somebody like us like says like, yeah, I'm like disabled, I don't want that. They tell us like, well, you don't speak for everyone, but meanwhile they act like they speak for everyone.
Exactly.
So it's like, well, neither do you then. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They try to silence you by saying shh, I will speak for you, you poor oppressed person.
Yeah.
I don't often talk about it. I talked about it once or twice here, and you guys know. But I've had the argument thrown at me, well, you're not like everyone else with multiple sclerosis. What?
Why?
No, I'm not. I'm me. Well, everybody else is different. You have other problems. I might have other problems.
Well,
but
they're not wrong. They're not wrong, right?
It's whatever fits the narrative, and not having a narrative is an offensive narrative to them, right? I really go in and I say I don't have a narrative. I don't have an opinion. I do me. And I take care of me first, my family second, my friends third. And it sort of spirals out from there. And if you call that selfish, if you call it capitalistic, whatever, that's what it is. And I'm honest and upfront about it. Here's my bullshit. Have a nice big whiff of it. And that's in my mind not having a narrative, but it's a narrative.
Yeah, or people telling Grimm is like, well, you don't look disabled.
Yeah, I've gotten that too.
Oh, yeah. The thing I hate about it all is I just find it so patronizing, and I don't know why these other people don't find it patronizing. Yeah, when I consume media, I don't have to see myself exactly in it to empathize with the character, whatever race, gender, sexuality, whatever else they are, whether they're disabled or not. It doesn't have to mirror me for me to have empathy or to project myself into the position of that character or to aspire to have whatever qualities that character might have, whether it's they're very courageous or whatever else. You know, that's the point of escapism.
Yes.
A whole generation of kids grew up empathizing with giant transforming robots, or like Mr. T as B.A. Baracus. Like he was like hella popular here in like the Netherlands with like white kids. Like yeah, we didn't care. He was just a cool dude.
But I don't understand why these people don't see that they're being patronized to, that they're being marketed to, that they are being turned into a commodity. You know, none of these companies that put rainbows on everything once a year give a shit whatsoever. It's just marketing.
And then you've got guys like Dylan Mulvaney who just kind of lean into that so hard.
Well,
like, you know.
Yeah, get paid. You got to respect the hustle.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's all it is the hustle. But I actually, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said guys. I mean, it's a, you know.
Well, sooner or later, Bud Light will cut her off.
Yeah. Yeah.
They already fired, or like they took a leave of absence, but that the chick that was responsible for that, all that stuff, the advertising thing, she took a leave of absence. So yeah.
Yeah, leave of absence.
Leave of absence, yeah.
But, well, you know, when you cost a company $7 billion in a week, that's
Jesus.
It's a leave of absence, but they've already filled the position and given a title to her replacement. So
yes, they have.
What kind of leave of absence is that? I don't want to work at that company.
Yeah.
What's that? You got to sneeze? Get the fuck out.
It's kind of like absent from your job.
Tuesday.
Well, I don't know what they were thinking. It's like slapping an advert for Goop on a NASCAR or something.
I'm you know, I don't know Left Eye and AJ here, but I mean, what are your thoughts on this sort of thing when not so much diversity, but just the pandering, when it's obvious that they really don't care about the person they're hiring or the character in the creation, when it's just like we've got to check a box. How do you know when it's obvious like that? What do you guys think?
I would say I typically usually don't like it when they do it to try to check a box. I think the interesting thing to me is you get a case like, I don't know if you guys know who Donald Glover is.
Yes.
Yeah, community, right. Well, the thing is, Tina Fey, when he did a GQ spread a few months ago where Tina Fey told him up front, like, yo, you're the diversity hire. And instead of just like like she tells him that straight up, but it's like he actually was good at it. He can actually write. He wound up pretty much working his way up, writing for 30 Rock, you know, giving his own shows. And he's actually really good at it. It's kind of hard to see that someone doesn't necessarily see the talent you actually have, but makes you the diversity hire. Like, I'm pretty sure in my field, I'm pretty sure there's been multiple times that I've actually been probably the diversity hire. In my field, it's 80% women. So just being a dude is like one tick. You know, the thing that I sell, I actually have the disability that would mandate it, and I'm actually a doctor in that field. So it's like, well, I'm sure that they didn't probably look at all that until I just check Black or African American. So I know that, you know, some people might look at you as a diversity hire, but if you have the talent to back it up, then we can look past it. The problem for me is when you hire someone that doesn't have any talent, you tout them as the next big thing because they're a diversity hire. And then when it's time for you to show me what you got, there's no creativity, there's no mastery, there's no studying, there's no appreciation and there's no real moving forward from it. Like that's kind of where I am with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I hate the shit.
Straight up.
The people they hired, the real world shit, as well as the characters on screen. They put people who are not fit for the job in these positions, and like I said, it's not just a color thing; it's a bunch of things. Sexuality, think just like them. Are you indoctrinated? Do you drink the Kool-Aid? Shit like that.
Mhm.
So all of that, and those things are again prioritized as opposed to the project, the art, the creative work. But then when it comes to like the Proud Family thing, for instance, which black people working on it, but there's a white person in charge of that. But you got this black person preaching this like victim narrative and shit like that and saying demonize white people, yet you work for the motherfucker as opposed to going and doing your own shit and really standing on what you claim. So that type of people, you get these dumbass people, which Grim, you were saying, like, why don't they know they're indoctrinated? Like, you got this black person preaching the shit, and she thinks she's the fucking good guy, thinks she's the superhero, but you're preaching the very shit that's not going to advance us nowhere or advance people, even fucking animation, for that. But then also, when it comes to the project, you take character like Reva from Obi-Wan, shit character, and I'm told I should love her because black. When I'm like, oh, okay, well, I know how you really feel about me if you're telling me I should like that character because she looked like me. Trash as fuck. So white people can get great characters. Black Panther, he could die in his movie, and I should love him because he was in the movie where I'm like, well, all these other white heroes, like, they still out here doing their thing, or they die in the line of duty. Not from a fucking sickness that somehow nobody else just fucking caught. So just dumb shit like that. So that's why I no longer support the mainstream.
So do you guys think that there's any benefit to it at all? Do you think that
it
the fact that they're getting exposure, that we're getting exposure to new faces, new actors, new creators, that sort of thing? Do you think that's beneficial in any way?
I don't think it's not the exposure, it's the forced exposure. Like Abomination, AJ, and I, when we do our stream, I know it's not right to just hate on a person all the time, but I'm like, I do not like Jonathan Majors, generally speaking. I was like, and the thing is, everyone's telling me he's the next big thing. I was like, this dude's face looks like punched hamburger meat. He looks like every movie he should be in is before 1967. He's Black Russell Crowe. And it makes me mad because he's from the same city that I used to live in near Dallas. So I'm like, I don't see what the appeal is to me. And then when they tell me like I loved his portrayal in The Last Black Man in San Francisco, and I'm like, he wasn't even the star of that movie. So when someone forces me to like someone and then they can't tell me why they like them, it's kind of like when I was homeschooled until like I was 14, but when I actually tried to go to private schools, I usually was the only black guy that was there. And so they would find the only other black girl that was in the same grade and they'd be like, yo, you know what? You should date Stephanie. Like, why? You just should. But why? I think you guys would really, really, really hit it off. But Stephanie can't read. I can read. I know you could. It's you wind up going down that road, and then they won't really say what it is, but it's like because black, as AJ said. So when you force someone to try to like someone that's black that doesn't really have the talent or the charisma, then you start having your spider sense of tingling as to why. And that's otherwise it's like if you can do it, it's fine. But
okay, so Left Eye, I gotta ask then. So Jonathan Majors or John Jones for wife beating competition?
John Jones, because he's undefeated.
There you go. I was there too.
Yes.
And my stream got canceled. No.
And I didn't do it.
Apparently, the winner of the competition goes on to fight Chris Brown.
Yeah. The winner fights Chris Brown. Shit.
Ah, shit.
The whole trying to force people to like somebody thing though, that like that goes across various demographics because they're trying to make us like what's the face that plays Captain Marvel. They've been trying for years. It's like, no, she has like no charisma. That actress sucks. And it's nothing to do like with the fact that I hate women or whatever. Supposedly, like, no, she just sucks. Like, so sorry, like.
There you go. I mean, yeah, it's like you can't force us to like Brie Larson because it's Brie Larson. I mean,
come on, Bear Larson. Yeah, that's the name.
And the more you try, the more we're not going to.
Yeah. So you can put her in every fucking movie you want to. It's like we're not going to like her any better.
Don't change anything.
It's because it actually is Brie Larson. I think that's part of one of the issues that Marvel has is you see the actor before the character. And it wasn't like that in the beginning. I definitely don't believe so, but it's become that. And for most of the movie, they got the goddamn helmets off or mask and shit. So I'm just watching this dude run around in some PJs for a check.
I mean, I watched the Captain Marvel movie in the theater, so because I wanted to think it was a good movie. Nat and Stan Lee had just died, and I thought, oh man, they'll have some kind of tribute in here, and they did.
More innocent time.
Yeah, basically, it was a more innocent time. It was. Remember back when the Marvel universe was good.
I don't know. We'll have to go back like what, a decade?
I remember the original Iron Man. That was good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like Victor said, 10 years.
There was no Marvel universe there. It was just the germ of an idea. It's when they started to spin it out and say, we're going to make this overarching universe, that they spread themselves too thin. Just make one good fucking movie, and then if another movie has a tie to the first movie, great. But they're trying too hard, and that's
the big problem was that they went from like basing their stuff on like the 90s comics to basing their stuff on the mid 2000 comics, and that's why we got like Fem4 and like whatever, like the shit that nobody even liked in comics, but they pretended that we did. And like then they started cramming it into the movies, and like, well, we still don't like it, guys. So like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it didn't do well in the comics. What the hell made you think it was going to translate to the big screen?
Like there's a rumor now that there's a rumor now that they're gonna make the new Blade movie about his daughter. I looked up. I was like, wait, Blade has a daughter? Like, he's one of my favorite Marvel characters. I didn't know he had a daughter. She got introduced like a year ago in comics, and they're already talking about putting her in the movies. Like, what?
Are you guys excited about that new Blade? Because I think it's gonna suck ass. I mean, I'm sorry, but Blade is Snipes. Snipes.
What do you mean, you guys?
I was going to say
all you guys, everybody on this panel, all 7 of you.
Stand up,
Victor. Anything about it?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about it. Is Snipes in it?
No.
It's not.
It's sure. Whatever his name is. I can't remember. Marshall Ali.
Snipes. Wesley Snipes made those movies.
Yes.
All three of them. I liked all 3 of them.
Stoned out of his mind, he was still great in that part.
Yeah, and not hiring in a CPA.
Yeah,
but
Wesley Snipes was so awesome as Blade that they actually changed the comic character to match him. Rather than like, because like the original Blade in the comics, he's British and stuff. I think he's not Wesley Snipes. And then like Wesley Snipes started playing Blade, and it's like, well, I guess he's Blade now. So they just made the comics be Wesley Snipes with the feet and everything.
Yeah.
Ironically, Wesley Snipes is like putting out a comic that's basically him as Blade.
Yeah, that comics was cool actually.
It is good.
Fucking troll.
But yeah, on WikiGeek, we try not to be just totally bitchy and down about everything. So we actually have some positive stuff, and we're saving it here kind of for the end because
food.
Yeah, well, no, the food we already did that, but earlier,
food.
Yeah, you missed that horrible burger.
I saw that burger.
You saw that burger.
I have no comment.
I found a nice healthy drink you could share.
No, Ironcaster, he doesn't want to suck your dick.
I want a whole meal, not just an appetizer.
Ooh.
Wow.
Prove your
quick t-shirt. Raise the tone.
Yeah, let me raise the tone. Okay, so earlier, AJ and Left Eye had pops on, and they were talking about the Mummy and everything, and I caught that show, and it was good. by the way, because they're good. If you haven't caught their show, you guys need to. You need to subscribe to their channel, and because they're in the same fight that we are. They're trying to hit their 1,000 just like we are.
I already am. So
okay, good deal.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And anyway, so yeah, what most people did not know is there was also a Mummy video game that was released back in 2017, and it was retro old school. So how big on retro old school games are you guys?
I love retro. I got the little Nintendo setup. I'd rather play that
Sweet
than the others. Yeah.
Then check this little bad boy out. You can still get this on Steam, but I got this little thing. It's called The Mummy Demastered. And this is just a little opening trailer for it, if it'll ever come up.
Oh, on Steam.
Yep. I just haven't gotten it. Got too many other games I'm playing. But it's got that old school 16-bit graphics kind of look.
Is this based on the
Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I kind of actually like that movie. I think I'm in the minority, but
that's cool.
So this is the Mummy Symphony of the Night.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool, man. A Metroidvania. Yeah.
Yeah.
Play this.
A Mummyvania.
Yep. And it's got a good soundtrack.
This reminds me of that old Nintendo Batman game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or the Robocop one.
Flames for the ceiling.
Too short. It's really too tall to be Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone remembers Mummies Alive, that cartoon?
I do.
Cool. It's on Switch? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an official game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I'll play that. That's cool.
That
can't be worse than the film.
No, it can't. And this morning, well, actually not this morning, but I downloaded yesterday a demo for a game. How many of you guys played the original Resident Evil 1 and 2 on the PS1?
Me.
I did.
Maybe the demo?
Okay. Well, if you remember, I've been playing the demo for this game, and it has the same old tank controls as the old Resident Evil game, and it follows all the Resident Evil beats just beautifully.
The one with the gas mask character?
No. This is called Echoes of the Living. It's not out yet, but they're working on it. It's supposed to be out this year. But look at that! It's got the cinematic angles. It's got the puzzles and the old school shooting and everything.
Yeah.
It's like
and spiders.
Yep.
We have things.
It very much feels like an old Resident Evil game.
Yeah, remember, it makes me think of the GameCube Resident Evil remakes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Resident Evil Zero and stuff.
And those were good.
I spaced out. What is this, and where can I get it?
Yeah.
This is Echoes of the Living. Right now, it's only in demo on Steam. It's supposed to be coming out this year, and the demo is good, man.
Yeah, this looks cool. This is like basically Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3.
Mm-hmm.
That looks good. I like it.
Yeah,
really cool.
I might have to grab that. It looks awesome. I was such a pussy when I was a kid. I used to play Resident Evil with like the sound off because the zombie noise is heavy.
I'm a pussy now playing Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I finished Resident Evil 4 like a couple weeks ago. It was good though. New one.
I still need to get it. I still need to get that.
I got an A rank.
I gotta
so,
make a note of that. That looks awesome.
It's good. And then the one I am super duper excited about. I don't know how soon it's coming out, but I know it's coming out really, really soon. But I actually played and beat the first one, and then this came out. This came out this week.
Peggy 16.
Yep. If you're not 16, you can't watch this. Y'all remember Blasphemous?
Yeah.
Well, this is the sequel now coming.
That's cool.
This is, the first one's hard as hell.
Yeah.
But this one looks so much fun. It looks hard as hell also, but...
Yeah, it looks sick.
Now, see, I'm trash at these types of games. Like, I love Mega Man X. Cannot play them for shit.
This is basically like Catholic Simulator.
It is. It's like harsh Catholic Simulator.
Yeah.
I love it though.
Well, right now I've got 2 games on my wish list I want to pick up. That's the Mega Man Battle Network franchise. We finally got its remasters, which is like 10 games, although really 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nintendo just released a basic remake of the Advance Wars 1 and 2. So
nice.
The game.
Dead Island 2 released this week, and I've been watching Fat Steven play it on his channel, and I've been just salivating wanting to play it because it looks like it's fun. Matter of fact, I reinstalled the original Dead Island on my PC just so I could kind of get the feel for it again, and I forgot how clunky the controls were.
Yeah.
And I was told way back in the day that Dying Light was actually made by people who split off from the original Dead Island team. And so that's why the 2 games feel similar. And, Dying Light is awesome.
It's a good game. Dying Light was a good game.
Yeah. And Dying Light 2 isn't bad.
It kind of bombed, though.
Yeah, well, that's because the story was kind of shit, to be honest.
I really wanted one of those.
Get into Dead Island.
I really wanted one of those bloody torsos they did for the special release. But by the time I got the money, together, there'd been that huge fuss about it, and they'd been withdrawn.
Of course.
Well, if you want zombies in a big city, just buy Whitechester.
Yeah. But I got some trailer footage of that really quick for the release trailer. No, of Dead Island 2. And it won't get us copyright claimed, so let's check it out real quick. See what you weren't missing.
Hey, can you hear me? I got some water.
Oh,
no!
I was trying to fucking help you.
That's just modern LA.
Yeah, it is.
It is set in LA. Shit on the street, right?
Say something.
Yeah, it's all set in LA this time.
I'm immune.
What? They're just gonna brush that off?
Yep.
Sam, if we're immune, we need to tell the authorities. I'm part of the CDC team in LA. You don't know shit. Out there, you gotta be a mechanic, medic. Jackie fucking Chan rolled into one.
Jackie fucking Chan.
Movies.
There's millions of those things out there.
Damn clowns.
Just waiting to sink their teeth into us.
You're screwed, man.
Mr. T?
I think the survival of the human race may depend on the blood in my veins. Yeah, man, no shit.
This motherfucker.
That looks fun, and I think it's co-op, so I always appreciate that.
Yeah, the first one was.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
Hit him till they stop biting.
LA Simulator 2023.
Voodoo, you voodoo, bitch.
I knew that was that character. I love that song from the first Dead Island. I actually
Me too.
listened to that unironically.
Yeah, I downloaded the MP3. I actually liked it so much.
Yeah.
But I can tell you from watching Fat Steven play it, the game is way, way big on environmental kills. There's lots and lots of environmental kills.
So that's out now?
Mm-hmm. It's out now. It's on Epic, unfortunately. It's not on Steam.
Oh, so we'll get it in like a year.
Yeah, basically, we'll get it in a year. Right now, and if you want to support the CCCP,
Yeah.
It's
buy it on Epic.
It's a lot more linear, I hear. A lot more set pieces than the original Dead Island was.
Yeah, that's true.
So why don't y'all want to support Epic?
It's CC, yes. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's Epic is tied to what was the name of that? Is it Tencent? Tencent Corporation? Yeah, and Tencent Corporation is out of China.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
it's kind of like it's up to you if you want to help bankroll the overlords of evil. But
No, I hear you, and I pay attention to video games, not too much video game news as far as like the corporate side of it. And I got Epic pulled up, like about to check this shit out.
Oh,
but no, I don't care about supporting the mainstream, and so I don't. Wherever I can make a stand, if I feel like I should, and I'll do that. But it does look nice. I just feel like I've been hearing Dead Island 2 for the past 20 years now.
That is true, yes.
Yeah. Like I said, that split with Dying Light, I think that set them back a lot. 20 years, I guess.
The problem with Dead Island 2 is that they had that amazing first trailer, and it got them so much hype that like nothing they did could like live up to it. Like if they had just come out, it's like, hey, here's our like kind of like pseudo indie like zombie survival game on the island, everyone would have been fine. But just the hype like was too big for them, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the Cyberpunk 2077 problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Overpromised what they delivered. But although I have to admit, 2077 has kind of come back and it's been redeeming itself little by little. So
yeah.
Do y'all remember the game Scalebound that got canceled?
Man, I hadn't heard of it.
It was on. Oh man, it was supposed to come out on like the Xbox 360, I think, and it was like a mix of like Devil May Cry. Like you had this crazy protagonist, and then he had a dragon, and you can customize the dragon, and then they had like an online like co-op. So you had like 4 avatar dudes with like fucking dragons of their own, and you can like armor them up different ways. It looked like it was gonna be cool as shit, like a real ambitious project. It just never happened.
Well, I know that coming up here pretty soon, we're going to have you guys back on because there's definitely going to be a game that I know you guys are going to want to talk about. And I'll probably be able to rope Animane in on that one too because he is a Street Fighter junkie. Street Fighter 6 is coming.
Crafty Matt in the chat, he used to do what's it called, the announcements and stuff for like Street Fighter like tournaments. He's like a Street Fighter guy. Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'll have to get Crafty on too then.
Yeah, definitely.
But
so I like Street Fighter. I even check out like the comics, the movies or whatever. But I was more of a Mortal Kombat fan when it came to the fighting game. As far as the franchise, though, Street Fighter. Like I studied those art books, and I have checked out the new one, but nothing about it has really had me hyped.
I know I don't like the character designs. A lot of them really. I mean, it's like I like the old faithfuls, like Ryu, Akuma, and everybody else, but the new characters really just seem to be always bad. Mm-hmm.
They destroyed my Cammy.
I haven't kept on Street Fighter.
Does Cammy have pants now?
No more boobies. What happened?
No more boobies. No more booty. She's like a 2x4.
Yeah, she is.
Well, booty and titties bad. The last time I paid attention to Street Fighter is when the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie came out, so I have like no idea who even the new characters are. Like I still like Blanca. That's like it.
He's still there, although actually, he's going to be in the game again.
I used to have like a Blanca G.I. Joe. They had like this whole line of G.I. Joes that were like the Street Fighter ones.
I remember those. The game, I've actually drifted away from Street Fighter, even though Street Fighter was my, I blew so much money on Street Fighter 2 back when it came out, and Super Street Fighter 2 and Turbo and everything else. It's like I wasted so much money on those games back when I was a kid. But Tekken has really become more of my passion these days, and I'm excited for Tekken 8.
I'm confused. Like they gave Cammy pants, but they took them off of this character Lily. Like, is Lily wearing pants?
I don't know.
I'm looking at it now. I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, Oh, I guess she's wearing. I guess no, she's wearing pants with moccasins. Okay, I'm confused. All right, my bad. I was just looking at the trailer for it. Yeah, I don't know why they gave cami pants. We like the unitard. Bring that back.
Yeah, the other guy that she's fighting is one of the new characters, and I'm just kind of like, and this appeals to who?
I've always been more of a Guilty Gear person.
I kind of like that, although man, the skill curve on Guilty Gear is just like a wall. It's like
Yeah.
you know, you.
I was like Darkstalkers.
I liked Darkstalkers a lot. In fact, I bought that Capcom Fighting Evolution thingy just so I could play that again.
Samurai Showdown was good.
I think the last Tekken I
all the
played was
Samurai
like
Showdown.
Tekken 3.
Oh wow, Victor.
Yeah, I was never big on like fighting games. I was
Yeah.
good at them. I just like I don't know, like I would get bored of them. It's like yeah, like okay, I've seen this like 20 times already. Like
Well, I'm a martial artist, and so I love fighting games, and that just used to be my passion was all the fighting games. So I used to have a fighting game collection that would just make people go. So, but these days,
What I don't like is they keep trying to force you to play online, right?
No.
I like to play the single player, and I like to play against someone sat
Exactly.
next to me, not random strangers who are gonna shit talk you.
Exactly, and yeah, Streets of Rage is good, and I've got Streets of Rage 4. I've played co-op with people on that, and that's good.
I'm waiting on what'll make me buy a Switch is if they come out with a platformer. Mario, of course, the head name, but it's like Subspace Emissary from Smash Bros. And you can play with different Nintendo characters, but do the little platforming thing. Little combo system. What's this in the Mummy movie? Like, dude was grabbing the ceiling. So if you had like DK, maybe that's a special ability or some shit he can use, climb areas of the map. That'd be dope. But
that would be dope. I mean, you know, and that's something that Tekken's had for a long time now. Is they've had fighting arenas that are basically expandable because, like, you could toss people through windows and shit, and then go fight in a whole new area. Really, I'm serious.
Yeah, but Tekken's pretty steep on the learning curve too.
It's not steep if you're playing the computer, but yeah, if you're playing other players, yeah, they will 10-hit combo your ass into oblivion.
One of my best friends is and always has been like a Tekken junkie. We're going back to arcade, put your quarter up to get in line days. And
oh yeah.
He'll always be, hey, let's play Tekken, Ryan. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like anally bleeding today, and it's a 15-second fight because it's boom, 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 boom. Like, why are we doing this? I'm not feeling well. I'm a little depressed. I'm like, okay, then I'm doing a good job. But yeah, Tekken's rough, and I'm not, incapable, but I'm not that level of fighting game guy. I sort of fall into like Mortal Kombat. that's my max.
Mm-hmm. The closet furry in me is waiting on the Bloody Roar.
Oh god, I want Bloody Roar back so bad. I loved that game, and my favorite character from the very first one. See, the store I used to work in was a video game store, role-playing game store, just kind of an entertainment store, so we had everything. But we used to get the Japanese titles from overseas, and we used to chip our PlayStations and everything else so you could play the Japanese titles. And I played the Japanese Bloody Roar before it ever came out in the United States. And my favorite character was that Fox, that kickboxing, the Thai kickboxing Fox chick from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her. She was so awesome.
how about the Killer Instinct games? Those were good.
I could never get a combo or a combo breaker. Forever will be a top 5 regret for me. It's not doing that.
Yeah, I have it on Steam, and I just don't play it. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I was a Virtua Fighter guy.
I liked Virtua Fighter.
A Virtua Fighter used to play
my fake online name, Victor Gorchev, the last name Gorchev, actually comes from my PlayStation 1 game. It was called Fighter Maker. And it was like basically
I remember that.
You could program your own like fighting game and stuff. But it came with like pre-made characters, and one was called like Sergei Gorchev. And I was like looking for like a name at the time, so I just took that last name and I combined it with Victor, which was the bad guy from Red Heat, the Arnie movie. And that's the story of how the Victor Gorchev name came to be.
Cool. Well, Left Eye's got to take off, and we're well past our 2 hours. So if we got any last minute things that we got to plug or anything like that, so we can sign out.
Buy Modern Necessities.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. You got that old school essentials thing going on at Lulu.
Buy my supplement for old school essentials that adds firearms and modern themed classes and grenades and C4 and all that junk to the game. And check it out. You can get the print on demand on Lulu right now. So
right. And Ryan would like to remind everybody that his Nerd Cognito shirts, he still needs to sell them.
They end today. We've got 1 day left, so everybody likes to wait till the last minute. It's the fucking last minute. Go buy a shirt. Go buy an expensive T-shirt. Proceeds. Make sure your Nerd Cognito lives for another year. So
there you go. And this is a link to Victor's product on Big Geek Emporium. So there you go. If you want to buy that. All right, guys.
You also have to do the Lulu one, though.
Go ahead.
So Ryan David doesn't want to beg. He wanted to give his audience a chance to give money in exchange for something. He wanted people to get a return on what they're getting, and this is the last day for that. If you can't do a T-shirt, and you love Nerd Cognito, you love Ryan, they need help, and so there's a link to donations. If you can't afford a T-shirt or you don't want to spend that kind of money, I get that. I mean, it's tough times, but maybe if you want to throw a couple bucks, it could help. And this guy's putting himself out there. He's doing something he loves. I think we all can appreciate that. Maybe try to help a guy out. And
definitely.
Just,
your envelopes.
He's not going to beg. He's not going to beg. But I'm a whore. He's not going to beg. But I'm a whore. I'll do it. I'll beg for him. So so if you can't, just take a look at it and throw him a couple bucks. Let's keep these guys going. Nerd Cognito is a good podcast.
It is. AJ, you need to throw me your link so I can link up your channel, because for some reason YouTube is suppressing you. Because I typed your name in the search engine and it's like nothing come back.
Man, I'm looking it up right now. I know I should have it handy. I should be a better YouTuber.
All right. Sorry. I forget to post mine all the time too. So. But yeah. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed being on the show. We loved having you, I think. I mean, didn't we, guys?
Yeah, you guys were awesome.
Thank you, guys.
I loved it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Check that link, people. Make sure that works. Oh yeah, and support while you're there. Yes, man, I have fun. Appreciate the link. I know you had said something about it before, and I've been checking out you guys' content for a while. The conversation. Man, we didn't get to have a Power Ranger talk. I gotta watch the Netflix Power Rangers Once and Forever or whatever that they're coming out with. So yeah. Just a T-shirt history. I think you had mentioned it like last time, or like the last time you was on the stream. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. You said a table, was it Power Ranger tabletop or like RPG?
Yeah. Ironcaster's got it right there.
Okay.
It's on it's on one of my shelves. But yeah, and they actually just released a new supplement for it. So hopefully it'll fix a couple of the problems I had with the book.
Okay, because y'all just left me out there to hang while I was bringing it up, like nobody had ever heard of it. So,
are you talking about the Renegade one?
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay.
Yep. Actually, they're also just released they're in the process of releasing a rule book that is going to be a crossover for Power Rangers and G.I. Joe and Transformers, because they've made RPGs for all three of those. It's the same system. So
Okay.
your Joes can call in some Megazord power to fight Unicron.
All right, look, man, I want that. I'm getting in on that when y'all do it. Yeah, I've been reading the comic book. I've just been a Power Ranger high lately, so
Well,
that'll be fun.
what you should do, and again, it's one of those things I'm always doing. Come check out some of the other stuff. Check out some of the original Super Sentai footage, the actual the suit footage, the show that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could be a totally different show. And then also there's a couple of the other couple of shows like Kamen Rider, which is one of my favorite shows right now. Which is actually has one of the big 50th anniversary movie. It just got announced this past week. Is going to be playing in theaters for a Fathom event in May.
Mm-hmm.
Which it looks like it's going to be awesome. But also Ultraman, which you can watch a lot of that on YouTube. Like I just found recently that Ultraman is as a brand is more popular in China than Marvel.
Yeah, I've seen these shows, and yeah, I would love to have a Power Ranger conversation in the future or whenever I come back onto you guys' channel. Y'all do keep it geeky over here. I respect it. I love it. We need it.
Love it. We like it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight, guys. And can I say, let's not make it too long until we see you again. All right, you guys always got an open seat here anytime you want it.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, and everybody, y'all take care. Have a great night. Thank you for being with us on this long but fun show. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some laughs. And hey, get us some subs, man, because that's all we need now. We're on that last track to monetization ourselves. So here's hoping, man. But until next week.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.